Hi everyone, I hope you all had a nice spring break. So this week in writing, we're going to be going back to creating our own informational texts. To do this, we're going to use the questions we came up with last week to make our subtopics and put them into a table of contents. But before I show you how to do that, I want to go over what a table of contents is. So I have a mentor text here called The Life Cycle of an Emperor Penguin. Now, if you remember correctly, a table of contents is located in the front of a book. So if I open up here, you see it has the table of contents. And a table of contents is a text feature that's really helpful because it lists the different section titles and their page numbers. So that way I don't have to read the whole book if I just wanted to find out about one section. For example, if I wanted to read about the life cycle of a penguin, I can read what is a life cycle and know that that's on page 10. So that's what we're going to be making today. But before we do that, I wanted to show you how you can access your old assignments on Google Drive and through Google Classroom, because we're going to have to be referring back to slides that you've already worked on. So I'm signed in as one of our students that moved away. So as you can see on my screen, I opened up to Google Classroom. If I click first grade, that's us, and I go to classwork, and now I scroll down to where writing is. Now he wasn't here, so it says his was missing. I'm going to open up the assignment again. And then you would be able to go back to the slides that you worked on. So if you needed to remember what your questions were, they should be on slide 7. And if you needed to find your answers again, they would be on slide 11. Now for this today, I'm going to be looking at slide 6 for mine. Now there is another way for you to access old work. So again, if you were on Google Classroom and you see this little square in the upper right-hand corner by the T, they call that the waffle. So if you click that, it says Google Apps. Then all of these other apps pop up, and this little triangle is Google Drive. So Google Drive is kind of like a big folder of all things you've worked on. And then you'll see the most recent assignments pop up. And then if you need to, you could open your classroom folder and you see all the different places where you do work. So you see your technology folder, first grade, things like that. But another way for you to find stuff is just by typing in the search bar. So if I'm looking for my planning slides, I could type that in and then it pops right up. So that's just another way for you to find your old assignments when we have to refer back to them this week. So now that I showed you that, I want to show you how we're going to be making our own table of contents. So you're all going to have your own book template. I don't want you to complete slide number 1 today because we're going to talk about titles and covers another lesson. So I need you to go to slide 2, and then you'll see I already have this set up for you. So it says table of contents, and then it lists the different sections of our book. So introduction, this should say question 1, question 2, question 3, closing, diagram, glossary, and then we're going to also be doing a meet the author page. So what you're going to do today is make your questions that you came up with into subtopics. So if I refer back to my questions, my first question was, 1, what do monkeys look like? So today I want to think of, well, if I'm talking about what monkeys look like, what's a title I can use as a heading for that page? Because all different pages have headings. Remember, a heading is the title that stands out at the top of the page, and it gives you a hint to what the main idea of that page will be and what you'll be reading about. So if I was on the section about the life cycles, the heading is, what is a life cycle? So you can either keep it as the question, what do monkeys look like? But then you'll have to make it smaller so that all fits. That's a little too small, so you can play with the different boxes and the sizes. Or if you wanted to keep it the same size, you could just shorten the title for the page, the header. So if I'm talking about what monkeys look like, I'm going to make that their appearance. So let's see. And now I'm going to look at how I asked my second question, where do monkeys live? Oh, if I'm going to be writing about where they live, we call that their habitat. And then my third question was, what do monkeys eat? Maybe I want to name this topic food or their diet, because that's what we call what animals eat. And then that's it. That's all I'm going to do for today. So again, you're going to access your old questions if you do not remember them from your last assignment. That was writing, planning, and informational text, and refer back to your questions. After you do that, look back at your questions, and then on slide 2, you're going to be changing the 3 spots that had question 1, 2, and 3, and writing the headers of your pages. And then you are done for today. We will start drafting later this week.